Hey team, hope everybody's doing well. Something a bit different today. Been doing an online campaign for a couple of months now. This is the first big battle, so I thought I'd film it so that the players can see what's going on. On the left hand side we have combined forces of 2 players, so we have Captain Statler's pirate crew and a combined group of elves and dwarves under Lady Elspeth Everhaze. They're attacking the mine that you see on the right, the fortified mine. I'll pan around in a minute so you can see what's going on. So this will be run using a mixture of Warhammer Fantasy and Sharp Practice. If you're not familiar with either of those rule sets, this isn't the video to try and learn them, because I'm making stuff up as I go along, which will be incredibly evident shortly, I'd suggest. I'm using Sharp Practice for the activation and some of the magic phase, whereas the combat stuff will be coming from Warhammer Fantasy, although I'll be using variable movement and a few other things, so don't worry too much about that. If you're keen to see some proper Warhammer Fantasy, go and check out Mini Wargaming, and if you want to see Sharp Practice done properly, check out either Check Your Leader or Tabletop CP. Both of those have got some really good Sharp Practice battle reports on. Alright, so the other thing I'll mention is reinforcements from the back of the Orc mine. I'll just pan around and see if I can do this. So from up behind the siege tower pretty much, they'll spawn once the Orc leader makes a task roll of 10. So essentially I keep rolling d6s, and for every group of 10 that I complete, full group of 10, another unit of Orc reinforcements will arrive. So the Orcs will be pretty much running on an AI type rule set. The players have given me their instructions, so they've just advanced to the edge of the wood. They can now see the Orcs. Plan is to soften them up for a few rounds, see if they can knock out any targets of priority, and when the defense is looking a bit softer, hopefully rush the infantry in before the Orcs have too much of an opportunity to reinforce things. So we'll see how we go. First token out's Blue 6, which is the Blue Dwarf Medium Infantry unit, so they'll sit tight for the time being. Next is Red 8, so that's the Elf Scouts. So I'll get them to advance to the end of the copse, and if either of those 2 units are in range, either of the dwarf units on the hills, I'll fire at them. So having the elves move forward and check the distance, they are within 24 inches of the Orc archers at the hill at the bottom of the frame, so they'll take shots at them. So it's 10 shots. They're ballistic skill 4, so they'll need 3, so they've moved to its 4, 5s because it's long range. So 4 successful hits, wounding on a 5+. No armor save, so 1 Orc casualty. A red flag. Blue 1 is Lady Everhaze. So we'll get her to move forward 4 inches and then cast a spell at the unit of Orcs that was just shot at. So she's a 3rd level caster. So what I'll do is I'll roll 3 dice, and 4, 5 or 6, we'll say the spell casts on. There'll be a default 2 dice at 5+ to dispel for the Orcs, and we'll say that either casters or dispellers can throw in extra flags for an extra dice, but none are available at this stage. Alright, so Everhaze casts with 2 dice. One's dispelled, so she gets one die off. So we'll just say D6 strength 4 hits to keep things simple. 3 strength 4s, so this will be killing on a 4+. Next one out's another red flag. So blue 5 is the dwarf median infantry at the top of frame. They're going to hold, just like the green unit down the bottom, and just protect the archers for the time being. Okay, red 4 is first mate Helmdire. I don't think he's going to do anything as far as activations are concerned. We'll just let him sit tight and let the mages and archers do what they're doing. Blue 4 is the archers at the bottom of frame, so we'll have a measure up. So they've got elven longbows. They're within 30 inches, which is their maximum range, to the same unit of orcs that have been hammered at. So they'll take 10 shots at them. So ballistic skill 4, hitting on 3s, plus long range, hitting on 4s. That's a solid 8 hits, and they'll be wounding on 5+. Alright, so just the 2 there. 6+ armor save. Alright, 2 more wounds. So the next token out's of red 5, which is the pirate skirmishers. They're just going to stay put for the time being. Blue 3 is the archers at the top of the frame, so I'll just do a measure up for them. Alright, so the 10 archers at the top of the frame had to advance in order to get into range to hit the unit on the top of the hill there. So that will be 10 shots at the unit of orcs. They will need... it's going to be 3s to hit usually, 4 for moving, 5 for long range, 6 for cover. Just the one fails to wound. Blue flag. Green 3. There are green tokens in here. So that's the unit of orcs at the back. They're going to be out of range of everything, so they'll sit tight. Red 7. That's the medium pirate warband. They'll hold. Another red flag. And the Tiffin for end of turn. No green flags, so they can't do anything. We've got 3 red flags and 1 blue. Alright, we'll call that a learning phase. Regardless, the unit of orcs over here have taken 4 hits, so that's 40% of the unit, so we'll call that a panic test. So original panic test, we'll do it their base leadership. When they get to 50%, we'll do it at -1. And 75 -2, we'll say that we can burn flags to add an extra +1 to any leadership test. So, 7 or less, they'll stick around. 8 or more, they'll have a strategic withdrawal. Strategic withdrawal it is. Alright, tokens are all back in the bag, time for turn 2. First out's a green flag. Second green flag. Red 6, which is the light cav. I'm tempted to have them try and chase down the orcs, but they're a bit fragile, so I'll keep them out of bow range and just leave them where they are. Green 1, so that's the mage for the orcs, the leader. He won't deploy at this stage. He's a level 3, so that gives him 3 dice, and he'll burn the extra 2 flags, and that'll be 5 dice for the task roll to summon more units. So 5 dice, again needing 10 per unit to summon. Alright, 23 total, so he's got 2 more units on the board. So we have 2 units of orcs that have just arrived, units 5 and 6, their tokens will go into the bag at the end of the turn. Next token out, red flag. Red 2. So that's... I thought it was sound longer. It's actually Sparkles the Mage. So she's a level 2 caster, so I might get her to move forward and try and cast at that unit on the hill, and I'll use the extra flag too. Alright, so I've moved Sparkles up. She gets 3 dice with the use of the flag. Again, looking for 4+. The orc team doesn't have any unused flags to put into this, so they've got 2 dice to dispel, looking for 5+. Alright, so Sparkles gets 3 casting dice through. The orcs stop one of them, so she's still got 2 dice to hit that unit with, so it'll be 2d6 strength 4 hits onto the orcs. Nine strength 4 hits. So this will be an Electric Blast of Oblivion, killing on 4+. So it's half unit gone. Another red flag. And the Tiffin. So end of the turn, again the orcs don't have any unused flags. Nobody's got any unused flags actually, except for that one that I just pulled for the Team Red. I might use that to advance the ogre unit forward a little, just to allow for a bit more freedom in the lines and stop any possible bottlenecks. So I'll have them move forward 3d6, I think, for the ogre sounds reasonable. And the other thing we need to do is a panic test for that group of orcs on the hill that got lightninged at. They're down to half strength now, so we'll do that at a base leadership save -1, so they'll be hanging around on a 6 or less. 7 or more, they go for a run. Nope, they love it. Alright, back into the bag for turn 3. Red 6. That's the light cav, and I'll actually have them move, I think. So we'll call that 4d6 for the light cav, maybe. I'll have it just move up behind the ogres. Next token. Red flag. Blue 8. So that's the elf scouts at the front. I won't get them to advance any further because they'll lose their cover bonus from the forest. They'll just sit tight for the time being, and we'll see what unfolds as far as enemy attacks go. Red 8. That's the ogres. Do we want to advance with them? The instructions I got was to use them as a sledgehammer to basically draw fire, so I think they'll advance around towards the bottom of the hill and up and over the fence if they can, and pursue that fleeing unit. That'll mean they're putting pressure on the orcs, hopefully drawing fire, but nothing suicidal. So 3d6 movement. 14 inches. Alright, next unit. Blue 6. It's the dwarf medium infantry at the top of the screen, so they'll advance 2d6 and form into line to protect the flank of the archers at the top of the screen. 9 inches, that's enough to get them up there. Blue 2 is Sergeant Stoutbarrel. So he's with the larger unit of blue dwarves, just below the one that was moved then. So I'll get him to use his activation and order that movement to be moved up 2d6 into line with the 2 units above it. So that's 12 inches, so they've got enough movement to do that easily. And next token out is a red 3, which is Hellfire the Mage. She hasn't done anything yet as far as I can recall. So she'll do the same as her compatriot the last turn. She'll move up and cast some sort of flaming spiky death at the unit of orcs on the hill. So once again, using the red flag, there are no green flags available for dispels, so the red dice will be casting on a 4+, the blue dice will be stopping on a 5+. So that's 1d6 goes through, because 2 cast and 1 dispelled. So it's 6 strength 4 hits. So this will be burnonating on 4+ for the orcs. That's another 3 down. Next token out is a blue 3, which is the archers at the top of the screen from memory. Yep. So they will shoot at the 2 guys left in the unit of archers to the north. So they have not moved this round. Their weapon skill falls and needing, ballistic skill falls and needing 3s to hit. Elven longbow, so that's long range, going to require 4s to hit. The orcs are behind cover, so 5+. So 3 arrows find their mark. They'll need a 5+ to wound. Alright, 2 wounds, 6+ light armor save. 1 saves, 1 down. Next token out. Green 3. So that's the unit in the middle of the board, the unit of archers. So they would have been enraged to hit the ogres, but the ogres are behind a hill so they can't be seen. Green flag. Red flag. Red 2, so that's Sparkles the War Mage. So she will cast her spell at the last orc on the hill. Will not use the extra flag, because it might be handy for something else later. So we have 2 red dice casting on a 4+, 2 blue dice to stop them casting on a 5+. Alright, so 2 dice go through, so that's 2d6 strength 4 wounds onto the last orc. So that's 6 dice, which will kill him on a 4+. And that's the end of that unit. D6, so that's the orc unit at the back, and they are currently penned in and can't move, so I'll just leave them. Red 4 is Helmdonger. So he will use an activation to instruct the pirates to move forward 2d6 inches, and he will also move forward 2d6 inches. I'll just follow the cavalry up, essentially. So 6 and 11 inches respectively. They'll have enough movement to get up behind them. Blue 7. So that's the green dwarves at the bottom of the screen. I think we'll get them to advance in line with the battle line that's moving forward, but we'll have to get them to pivot around a little bit to give the archers some sort of field of fire, but not too far, because we don't want to have Statler's line of sight blocked for if he goes and does something crazy. So 2d6. 6 inches, that'll be enough. Next token. Green flag. Red 1. So that's Statler riding Waldorf. He's got nobody in activation range because Helmdonger just activated his units. The light cavalry, have they already moved this turn? Red 6. No, they haven't. Oh, yes, they did. That was the first move. So what he might do is I'll just have him advance 4d6 to try and catch up with the ogres. Possibly do something stupid. Actually, the light cavalry of 4d6 will say that he can go 5d6 because Meth Weasel. So 13 inches. Alright, next token. Unit of Orc Warriors at the front. They'll move forward towards the top of the hill that's just been abandoned, 2d6. Another red flag. Blue 1. So that's Lady Everhaze. I don't know that she's in range of anybody. I'll just see if she's in 36 inches of that middle unit of Orc Archers. Alright, so she's further than 30, but within 36. So we'll say she's got some sort of light spell that's long range that can have a shot at them. So we'll see how we go. No blue flags, so no opportunity to use them. The Orc player won't use any of the green flags they've got to dispel because they're going to be saving those to get more units on the board. So red dice are casting on 4, blue dice will be dispelling on a 5. Alright, so 2 dice go through, so we'll call that 2d3 strength 3 hits maybe? So 5 strength 3 hits. And this will be wounding on 5 pluses. So 2 wounds with an armor save of 6+. 2 down. Next token. Blue flag. Green 2, which was the unit of archers that's been destroyed, so I'll take that one out now. red 5. That's the pirate skirmishers, so we'll have them advance 3d6 up to behind the other skirmishers. Loving it, plenty of movement there. And there's the Tiffin. So the only units that haven't moved are the two at the top of screen for the blue team. So that's the archers in red and the blue dwarves. I've only got one flag to activate with them, so I'll just leave them there for the time being. Alright, so we'll say that the Orc commander uses his 3 activation dice plus the 2 flags to use 5 dice to generate more units. And they'll just have to pop where they can. So that's 14, plus the 3 from last time is 17, so there'll be 1 more unit of orcs, and 7 in the bank for the next roll. Alright, so I'm going to leave it there, post this, and let the players watch and give me further orders, but just so we see where we are. Line of battle starting to look okay, everyone's formed up, archers still behind at that point there, ogres moving forward, Statler's there in support. Over here we've got 1 unit of archers fleeing, another sitting tight behind the barricade, and 3 units of orcs. Orc heavy infantry on the table. Medium infantry, excuse me. Alright, thanks for tuning in. See you next time.